uprising in support of the amendment. I think it's critical to know that just before Christmas, families all across Western Washington were displaced. Their lives, their properties ruined. Luckily, not many deaths, but their lives were totally torn asunder. And this happens the same with wildfire as well throughout our state, especially during the wildfire season in the summertime. But Madam Speaker, we spent more money in the CCA on bicycle education than on flood mitigation. That's a fact. And now we're scrambling during a budget deficit to go find ways to help those people. And we should be helping those people, especially when there's an emergency. That's our duty. And thankfully, FEMA is stepping in to help us as well. And the good member from the 20th makes some good points about wildfire and carbon. But Madam Speaker, in the last budget cycle, we also cut wildfire resilience. We cut from wildfire in our state right before a wildfire season. Right in my district, in the Bear Gulch fire, for example, my constituents were breathing smoke in the entire summer. And we lost tourism dollars and all sorts of things because the Olympics were basically closed. All this amendment does is say if you're going to raid the Left One pension one time to fill a unsolvable budget gap right now without fixing any structural problems, and you're going to direct it to back $569 million back to the CCA, the least we could do is direct those CCA funds to accounts that are actually helping the environment in Washington and actually helping families with their health and their safety. Please vote yes.
The good member from the 35th, Representative Couture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Urging you to vote no with me on this bill. Madam Speaker, when we cast our vote tonight, when we take our finger and press this button tonight, that is a $4 billion vote. $569 million of which will just be scuttled away to the climate commitment account. And we will have sent a message to our pensioners in Left One, our pensioners in PERS-TERS One, our folks on Medicaid, our folks with rising healthcare premiums, our schools in binding conditions, our people devastated by floods in Western Washington and fires in Eastern Washington, the people victimized in our JR system and in foster care and other places in Department of Children, Youth, and Families, who we have to pay legal settlements to, and we're not paying our legal bills. All of the problems, totally preventable. I laid out a roadmap, a Republican budget framework that required no new taxes, funded healthcare, schools, and public safety. And it didn't require this bill, which was an option, Madam Speaker. But here's what I predict, and not just for me and you, because I'm always talking to you, but I'm also talking to the Left One and PERS and TERS One and other retirees in Washington State out here today who might be watching here on TVW, that this $4 billion rate of this pension will not be used to actually solve any problems or make anyone whole or solve our affordability crisis. But the next thing that will happen, and we'll be asked to point our finger at, is another $1 billion or so vote to raid the rainy day fund. And the next thing will be an income tax and many other taxes. After the largest tax increases in state history that we levied on the same people we were trying to help here. And all the while, a spending addiction that is totally out of control. We have record revenues, Madam Speaker. We have a record $78 billion budget. And despite slowing revenues, our revenues still continue to climb. We don't need to raid the Left One pension. I've proven that. And I'm willing to sit down and work with anyone to make sure this never happens. That's a promise, Madam Speaker. Vote no.